Let me inspire you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mission of Medicine. Thank you for checking out the channel today. We have a special guest. Her name is Glory, and she's from True Voice. She's from a YouTube channel where she's on there singing with her sisters. Make sure you all go and check it out. Glory, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, everyone. Well, my name is Glory. I am a senior biochemistry major here at UMD. I'm also a general business minor. I do a lot of volunteering, Pregnancy Aid Center, Johns Hopkins PACU. Like he said, I sing with my sisters.
When I look outside my window, I can get no peace of mind. When I look outside my window, I can get no peace of mind. Whoa, and get to know peace. Oh, work. When money.
But we'll get into that later.
I invited Glory onto the show because I think she's really an accomplished person, and she really truly represents a well-rounded candidate. And right now she's a senior and about to, take a break from school and then apply to medical school. And so she's in the process, so she can tell you a little bit about herself, and we're just gonna ask her some questions. So the first question, of course, I feel like they ask this everywhere for the interviews. When did you know that medical school was something that you wanted to do? Why a doctor?
So this sounds pretty cliche, but I always knew that I wanted to be a doctor. I think it's because my mom works at Hopkins. She's a nurse, and for as long as I can remember, she was always coming back from work, telling me about her day, how she's helping people, all the cool things that she gets to see. So I've just always been exposed to it, and I really liked hearing about it. Also, I had an aunt when I was growing up who suffered from arthritis, and I would try to help, but there was not much I could do at 5, 6 years old. I could just help massage her or bring her cream or something, but it didn't really help. So I was like, I'm gonna be someone who can help people like her when I'm older. So I think that contributed as well.
Nice. What experiences did you have in undergrad that helped you confirm that medicine was truly for you?
Okay, well, just a quick shout out to CRD. Actually, I think last year.
Wait, by the way, CRD is Charles R. Drew.
Okay.
Cameron and I are co-presidents for that here at the university. Okay,
so through that program, we went to UMB Med School in Baltimore for a, I don't know if it was just a session for pre-meds or something, and they helped show us some of the equipment they use when they do surgery, and they had a panel where people were doing Q&As about, okay, what do you expect when you're applying to school, or do you have any advice about the MCAT, all that kind of stuff. And that really helped me because, I don't know, I saw people that I knew that went here for undergrad who were there, and I was like, wow, that could be me in 2 years or 3 years, whatever. Right. That really helped a lot as well. The anatomy lab tour at Hopkins we went to a few weeks ago, I think. That was really fun, and everybody there was so helpful, so happy to be studying medicine, and I was like, this is definitely where I need to be. So those definitely helped.
What has been your favorite class so far in undergrad, and why?
Okay, this is gonna sound nerdy, but I actually enjoyed biochem. I'm a biochem major, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I like biochem because it wasn't just straight, orgo is memorize all of these reactions, and gen chem is do you know how to convert to moles and figure out this equation, but biochem really puts them, you learn reactions and stuff, but you learn about how it applies to maybe glucagon and insulin and things that have to do with real life conditions like diabetes and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of people hate me when I say this, but I think organic chemistry was one of my favorite classes. I enjoyed it.
I always call it a rite of passage because to me, it was good after the fact. I wasn't there studying orgo, I love this is the greatest thing ever, because I was always constantly, oh my God, I need to do well, studying all day, that kind of thing. But then after the fact, I was like, okay, I feel like I know something, I learned something in organic chemistry, this is cool. But at the time when you're stressing,
it was
it didn't seem like the move, but I can see where you're coming from in terms of liking orgo.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We know UMD classes are so hard. Everybody knows that pre-med is stressful. So what classes did you find difficult, and how did you overcome them?
Okay, so for my pre-med classes, I would say that physics was definitely the hardest class for me, Physics 1. Physics 1 was the hardest class for me. That was because I didn't take physics in high school. So I just seemed like everybody else already knew, what force diagrams were and all that kind of stuff, and I was learning everything for the first time. So I think that was definitely my hardest class. But in terms of dealing with it, definitely I went to office hours. Definitely talk to the professor a lot. That's one of the number one things I can recommend. Studying with a group is the most important because there's power in numbers. So studying with a group is first. Then definitely reading the book, especially if you know that you don't know much about the topic, you have to read the book. I don't think there's any way around it for physics. You can also watch videos on Khan Academy. YouTube has a wealth of resources on there too. But yeah, I think that's what I did. And I practiced a lot of practice problems.
And within those study groups, make sure you remove the EOPs. Make sure the enemies of progress. That's what I call them, EOPs. You don't want to have them in your study groups because you want to, be effective and you all are learning together. And I definitely agree. Study groups are really helpful. Was there a time when you felt like giving up and maybe questioned if medicine was really for you?
Okay, to be honest, I never questioned medicine itself. I was always if I was frustrated with something, it would be with the specific class, not with my path to medicine at all. So it was just, bumps along the road, but never oh my goodness, this isn't for me. I was pretty set in terms of that.
And I feel like that's a good way to think of it. If you really know that this is what you want to do, I don't think if you, have some type of obstacle that comes in the way, such as a class or whatnot, that's giving you difficult, it's not to think about I can't do this. It's maybe this class is just, something that I'm good at, but I'm going to try my best to get over it and, overcome it.
Exactly.
And come up with different ways, like studying with a group, going to office hours, and trying to find other ways to manage it. So I definitely agree with that.
Also, I wanted to point out, when we mentioned that study groups are important, but I think it's really important to realize that you have to study by yourself first.
That's true.
Get in a group. Because
that's true.
If you study in a group first, that can be actually counterproductive. You're gonna be even worse than you were before because you're gonna feel like everybody knows more than you do, and that you're not learning anything. So study first, and then use the group to kind of fill in the missing pieces.
All right. So you just took the MCAT. I know you're glad that that's over with. How was it? How did you go about studying for it? I have so many friends that just taken it. I just want to know, what did you do? What's the keys?
Okay.
Tell us the keys.
The major keys to success. Okay. Number one, I actually studied with a friend, but we didn't study together every day. It was more maybe if during the week we would FaceTime each other just to keep each other make sure we were on the same page and keep each other accountable. If we say we're gonna wake up at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. whatever and study till whatever time, text the other person, be like, hey, are you awake? That kind of thing. And we also like tried to make schedules together. I would say me and my friend and I had some scheduling difficulties because, like I said, I had, I didn't say this. I had research over the summer. It was full-time, 9 to 5. I actually would not recommend it I wouldn't recommend it if you can avoid it. But for me, I just felt like it was an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up. So I just took on both. I studied for the MCAT and I did research at the same time. But going back to what I was saying, I studied with a friend. We tried to like plan our schedules kind of around each other and just keep each other accountable. I bought the Kaplan set of books. There's, I think it's seven books in one like package, as well as like everything the AMC had to
Did you
offer.
find it helpful, the books?
Yes.
Really helpful?
Something that I will note is that before I took the MCAT, I did the same thing. I asked so many people who I knew took the MCAT like bunches of questions, and they all told me that content review is important, but the most important thing is to do practice exams, and as many as you can. And like during the time, I was like, yeah, whatever. You guys took it already, but like, I know taking practice exams are important, but you have to know the content. Like you have to know. But like after taking the exam and after studying, they were right. Like you content review shouldn't be like memorizing discrete details and everything. It's just, are you familiar with this concept? Do you know like the main equations, the main like ideas behind this theme? And if you're good with that, then I think that's fine. Kaplan is it gives you a lot of details, but you don't need to memorize every single detail to be able to do well on the MCAT.
You need to know the concept and how to apply it.
Exactly. And I think different sections, you prepare for them in different ways. Like for me personally, okay, let me just explain. I don't know if they know how the MCAT is laid out, but there are 4 sections. There's chemistry and physics in one section. Then there's CARS, which is like critical analysis and reasoning. That's basically reading like passages, literature, and then like answering questions about them. The third one is bio and biochem, and then the last is like psych and sociology.
Touched on this a little bit. You talked about your research. How did you enjoy it?
Okay, so I really enjoyed my research experience for a lot of reasons. Number one is I got to learn something completely different from what I'm used to studying. So I did therapeutic hypothermia and cardiac arrest. And basically what we were looking at is when someone's heart stops, like suddenly just stops working, and they obviously pass out, how can you increase their chances of survival? So I did a lot of histological work, a lot of staining, microscopy stuff, which I was not that like familiar with. So yeah, it was all new in that way, but also because it was at a medical school, I got to meet so many like med students and so many like instructors at the actual place, which kind of like reinforced my desire to be there. I was just like, oh my God, they're so lucky. Like they're studying medicine. Like look at all these MS1s and everything. And it was just really nice. I enjoyed everything about it. But definitely, I think I valued the connections a lot. I think as a pre-med student, that's one of the most important things you can do is make connections with people so you can ask questions, so people can like help you and guide you and all that kind of stuff.
Nowadays, it's really important to have a life outside of medicine, outside of school. So just tell us about like the things that you do. I know you are part of the True Voice. How do you all get started with that? Like what made you all go to YouTube? Why YouTube?
Okay, so this is actually, I wish it was a more eventful story than it is, but really my sisters and I, we would just sing all the time, any place, anywhere. One day we were just, I don't know why we were in the bathroom like singing, but we were in the bathroom and we were singing, and then my sister just started recording, and then it ended up being pretty good, or we thought it was pretty good at the time, so we just posted it on Facebook. And then when we posted it on Facebook, people were like, oh my God, guys, this is so good, like you guys should do this like more, like you guys should consider like taking this a lot like seriously and like pursuing it, whatever. And then we're just like, okay. So I think I was in 11th grade at the time, and I was like, okay, let's make a YouTube, because it was like, I don't know when YouTube became a thing, but I just remember it being like, oh, you just gotta make a YouTube if you were gonna like do videos and all that kind of stuff. So we made a YouTube, and like we put up our first video, and I think it was like Alicia Keys, like it was like Alicia Keys, like no one or something. And I remember like during that time, like in a week we got like 16 views, and we're like, whoa, we got 16 views, like that's like half a classroom, because like keep in mind I was still in high school, so like there were like 30 kids in a room.
I get excited over my little views.
Exactly. So we were so excited about that, and then we would just be checking. We were so pressed. Like we were just like checking, oh my God, now it's like 30 people, wow, 50, wow, 100, like that kind of thing. And like I think what helped us was I don't know if you remember Mindless Behavior. We were big fans of them during the time. So we were just like, and we knew a lot of other kids like or whatever people our age were too, so we're just like, they just released this song, let's do a video to it. And then after we released that, then the views just started like coming in, and we're just like, whoa. And I think it has a lot to do, it's still relevant today, like if you put out stuff that is popular, something that people are going to search, like, and you target it to a specific audience, I think that helped us. Like we knew that people like us were going to look up Mindless Behavior. So the views just started coming, and then people were like, oh my God, guys, you guys are so good. And then we just kept doing that. And like now our channel has grown. I think we're at almost 7 million total views. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, but with like the MCAT and stuff, things are a little bit like slower now. But after, like, we'll like pick back up, and hopefully it'll like everything will like be back on track or even better.
Wow, that's really awesome. That's really awesome. If you guys are interested, check out their channel, True Voice. It's right here. Go and click it right here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. For me, I know like being pre-med here, especially at University of Maryland, it's so stressful sometimes. Like trying to juggle extracurriculars, academics, being involved in leadership stuff. It's a lot. Yeah. And like trying to communicate with my family and just keep my friendships together and try to enjoy myself and get to do the things that I love. It can be stressful. So how do you manage your stress?
How do I manage my stress? Oh, that's a good question. I reach out to friends, and then if there's someone you haven't talked to in a while, just be like, I'm gonna take this afternoon and just like talk to this person, just have lunch with this person, go to this person's like birthday thing on Saturday, whatever. Do something that forces you to not be like around your books and around all of your responsibilities, and just like calm down. And I don't know, I feel like talking with friends and family too, whenever I go home, that's like time for me to like release stress and everything. It's very cathartic. I would say that spending time with friends and family, even though that's one of the things you're trying to, you know, maintain, whatever, that actually helps alleviate stress.
Well, you know what? Thank you for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
No
like,
problem.
It's been forever for us. We've been trying to link up, but our schedules have just been conflicting. Our classes and tests and everything. Premed problems. Yeah, premed problems.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you coming on the show and
problem.
sharing all this information and wisdom with my subscribers. And I just hope you all enjoyed everything that she said. Make sure you comment below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel.
Okay.
Thank you for checking out Mission to Medicine.
Bye. Yay.